And we are live. Welcome, Brusk. How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. We've been trying to set this up for quite some time. Things have just been happening. Like we try to set this up, and then the stress test comes out, or like I'm just busy, and all that. But now we finally got all right, we got this downtime. We know when the next combat cast is happening. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting anything for the next couple of days, so we can finally just chill. Relax, because we got a lot of things to talk about. So
that's the key there is like, dude, it's been so busy, and I know that for like full-time content creators such as yourself and others have been like super busy the past couple of days, and dude, it's been nuts.
Exhausting. But we were talking about this earlier before we started the stream, that it's a good kind of exhaustion, you know. I feel good, you know, like being burnt out because like I got everything done. Things are doing great. Results are great. I'm happy about what it is exactly that I'm making content for, and so I'm ready to go for the next day. You know, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
It is a really good feeling, and this is like the most exciting time too. You know, so with the hype train, with the marketing campaign, with all this stuff, this is like a great time to be not just an MK content creator, but just an MK fan.
Yeah,
you know, so
you know, it's you know, I've been thinking more and more like the hype for this game. I don't know how familiar you are or how involved you were with the hype of MKX, but MKX hype was so good. I loved MKX hype. It had its problems because we had that 4-month drought of like literally radio silence.
We did.
But once we were getting content, it was so much fun. The speculation, the theories, the trailers themselves, so good. And MK11, I don't feel captured that same spark in any way, and I don't know if it was have anything to do with MK11 itself, but I think it had a lot to do with the giant leaks that were going around, because everything about that game leaked. Everything did. I knew everything about the game going in, but before I even had the game, I knew everything. But there are still leaks going around, which I know we're not going to talk about, you know, because you know that's not what we're talking about here on you know, that's not one of the topics that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's still very flimsy. Like it's still very like it's not really true. Like I don't know, and I would rather just ignore it. And it's definitely not to the same degree as it was with 11. So there's so much stuff that we don't know. There's so much stuff to be discovered and so much to look forward to. And like right now I'm feeling like it feels like the MKX days to me, at least for me personally. It feels like the MKX hype days, and I love those days so much, and I'm loving these days now. So
no, it's great, and I try to be purposefully ignorant to a lot of everything. So whenever like something comes out, like even I'll have, you know, friends message me and stuff saying like, "Hey, I heard about this. Hey, I heard about that," and I'll just be like, "Whoa, that's cool. I want to hear it yet." And and I learned that from a friend like way back. Gosh, whatever year Batman vs Superman came out, he purposely
2016.
We went and saw this movie together, and he purposefully did not see any trailers, anything at all. And so when he walked in there and saw Wonder Woman for the first time, it blew his mind. You know, so
they should have saved that for the movie.
But
they
it's like
everything in the trailers, man.
They do. I mean, dude, superhero movies are kind of known for that. Yeah, they do everything. They showed Wonder Woman in this big fight that happened again. And I wish they wouldn't have done that. But I mean, the point is that when you keep yourself in the dark as a fan, it helps you out a lot to really enjoy, you know, this time going into it. So yeah, if I was to give anybody any sort of illicit advice, it's be like, dude, just stay ignorant to the leaks and just enjoy what comes out. You know, combat cast next week. So
also surround yourself with people who you know are not going to be spreading that kind of stuff around. I mean, it's kind of inevitable, honestly. Like, especially if you're like super involved in the internet. But I know there are plenty. I mean, I don't cover leaks, at least not to like the big, you know, grand scale of like, you know, roster leaks, like entire roster leaks or anything like that. You know, like but like things that are like the genuine news I will cover. So like surround yourself with people. I'm not saying subscribe to me. I am saying subscribe to me. but like surround yourself with people, not just like with YouTubers, just surround yourself like whatever community you're in, whatever Discord you're in, surround yourself with people who are not going to be in doing that kind of stuff, you know? So yeah, that's probably one of the pieces of advice I would give to spoilers. Just look at your surroundings. Are you surrounded by people who are going to be doing that stuff? If so, well, mute them. I don't want to say block them, because sometimes some of them might be your friends, but you know, like mute them, or you know, unsubscribe to some channels, whatever it is, just for temporary. But yeah, you know, just put yourself in a better environment.
Yeah, for sure. And personally, because I'm in Northern California, we actually have a really good local scene, and a lot of the people in the local Sacramento area are thrilled on Mortal Kombat, and it's a great environment. So get involved with your local scene as well. That's you will never find.
Probably should do that more. I don't know how big Fresno's local scene is though, but because Fresno is not big at all to begin with. But you know, dude, like when I did though in MK11, because there was an MK11 tournament, local tournament, and I remember I met somebody who was at that local tournament, and I met them later at Evo that same year. So it was was it Combo Breaker? It was either Combo Breaker or Evo, either or. It was so fun though. It was cool just to see like people from my community, you know, my locals somewhere else in a major and stuff. So yeah, but when I went to a local, it was so much fun. So much fun.
It's way different in person. And when you get when you get people together like in person and everything, it's so funny. You will find all sorts of different types and kinds of people, and you'll just having the commonality of your favorite game. Like we did a Street Fighter 6 local, and me and my boy OG Shinobi, we met up there, and you know we actually just hanging out, just met a bunch of people, and made friends with a bunch of people just being there, you know.
It's good. I mean, like it's funny because it's like you know, get in, go outside and meet real people. Right. You know, that's like the most like, you know. So go
outside.
Go outside, meet real people, talk with people who have similar interests with you. Like it sounds super like when you really like pull off the
sounds very Gen X.
Yeah, it feels super basic and super Gen X, but you know, they're right. You know, they're right when it comes to like going outside and talking to real people, you know. But
go play with lead paint and hammer some nails. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that was the longest intro ever. So thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. And we've been talking in MK for a while, even in just the Discord and everything. So if you don't already know, this is Bruskpoet. Please subscribe to his channel. He has some pretty good stuff, and his Discord is awesome too. It's a great community, and they have a lot of good conversations in there, and they have a lot of good voice chat conversations, which is not very common. You find like Brusk will not be there, and there will be 13 to 15 people in a voice conversation in a voice chat.
And you can imagine like how many people come when I am in there. So But what I'm in, but like it's like almost every day there's people in there in the voice chat, like it's just filled. So
and it's great. And that's the other thing too, is like going outside is one thing, going and meeting people in live, but it's like when you actually get into, you know, conversations about Mortal Kombat, like in a voice chat, it's completely different than just chatting away. So I highly recommend doing that. But anyway, thanks for coming on the show. And
thanks for the shout out.
For sure, man. Stress test. You did the stress test. I did the stress test. Quick shout out to my boy OG Shinobi. He was kind enough to invite me over to his home, and we got to play the stress test there. I do not own a PS5, at least not yet, and it's looking mighty tempting because of the betas and exclusives.
It's an exclusive title, and the beta and all that's going to be only on the consoles. So
and that's going to be we'll get to the make or break. That's going to be the last thing. So stay tuned for the make or break at the very end, because that's one thing that's on my break list. But or not list, but the one break thing. But PS5's looking mighty tempting right now because of those, you know. But by the way, gosh, speaking of MKX, I bought a PS4 just to play MKX.
That's what I did. Well, I didn't buy a PS4. I bought an Xbox One at the time. But yeah, then I eventually got a PS4. And the first game that I bought with the PS4 was MKX.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was it forced me to buy a new console at the time.
Yeah, for a good 2 years, that was the only game that was played on that PS4. So yeah.
Yep. That's how it was for me too. Yeah. I think I got a few COD games. I think I got BO3.
I played Destiny eventually.
Yeah.
I got into Destiny. But yeah, we played the stress test. What was your first impression of MK? At Mortal Kombat 1?
So I played 12. I did a huge 12-hour stream the moment the servers went live. You did. Yeah.
You did.
And I will never do that again. I will never do that again.
Yeah.
I have never ever done a 12-hour stream, special stream or anything like that. Man, oh God, it's so draining. It's so draining because I have to talk constantly. I have to put on not a persona, because how I am on camera and how I am in real life is sort of the same, but I do have to put in a little bit of effort to be a little bit more entertaining, to, you know, bring up some things, you know, just do things that will be nice to view. And I had to do that for 12 hours. So, you know, like, so besides that, just because I will never do a 12-hour stream doesn't mean that I didn't like, you know, I didn't like the stress test or anything like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, first impressions on the stress test. Well, I believe it when people say that the game has combos and the game has variety. The game has, you know, a player expression. And NetherRealm says this, believe it. So much stuff in there that I was able to do. So much stuff that I was able to discover, so many options that I had in the game, and then some with the cameos. Because I'm talking about my main character. Now we're talking about the cameos who add on to that kind of stuff. And I've had a blast just having and just a sigh of relief knowing that we have combos back in Mortal Kombat, which is weird to say combos are back in a fighting game, you know, but you know, we came off of a game that didn't have them. That was like short combos and that was it. And you'd be lucky to even try to get one because then your opponent would break away and they would punish you. So eat shit. But yeah, believe the hype about combos. Great stuff. Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I want to talk about praising the game, because I feel like a lot of both of us are going to agree a lot. We may disagree on a few things, but I don't know if you want me to go into the things that I didn't like, because I made a video talking about my thoughts and I spent like a good 15 minutes talking about the things that I didn't like. Now, don't get me wrong, I did like the game. I want to get that out of the way, but or the stress test. But there were a lot of things that were like, I don't like this. So I don't know if you want me to focus on that, or you want me to talk about the things that I liked.
Well, let's start with the things you did like.
Okay. Yeah. So combos number one. Number two, not really stress test exclusive, but the stages are gorgeous. They're great. The music, I think. Well, actually, this is kind of stress test exclusive, because this is like the first time we ever really heard the music in the game. But the music is like so good, so good. We recently got news that Casey Edwards is doing the music, I think, for the stages. I don't know how much music that he contributed, because I know this guy called Will Rodgett is doing the story mode music, and maybe Casey Edwards is doing the stage music. So, but I don't know to the extent of how many stages he did. Maybe
I think he had a lot to do with. Yeah, I think he had a good amount. From what he tweeted, it sounded like there was a good amount of input from him. So I'm just gonna assume that he did a lot of the stages, which again, the stage music, great. I love the Tea House music was amazing. I love Johnny Cage's Mansion music. Like I haven't heard the Tea House music, but I know it was good whenever I was listening to it in the background when I wasn't playing the game. But yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was just like, I almost forgot what Mortal Kombat music sounds like, you know, like I was like, you know, it's like that scene from No Way Home when Doc Ock got his kind of not his memories back, but he
he was free of like the voices of the tentacles and stuff, and he was just like, oh my god, it's so quiet. But this one is like, it's so beautiful. Like the songs, it's so beautiful. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
So I was just floored. I was just floored with how good the music sounded and stuff, and obviously the visuals of the stages that go along with it was great.
Yeah. Johnny Cage's mansion, dude, was insanely. It was such a beautiful stage, dude. It's like
it's so good.
Both the night and the day is like the night you can see all the lights and everything, and then the sunset you can see during the day. You can see traffic. Like,
you can see the LA traffic. Yeah.
You can see like LA traffic, and you and I are both from California. We know what that looks like, dude. So
yeah,
it was
I know what that looks like. Yeah, I know where that's at too.
I was like, I've seen that before. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've driven on that road, and you're just like, oh my gosh, dude, that road, it's there.
Yeah,
that was nuts, dude.
So immersive and just it's great. But I think the biggest thing that I really liked, and it's a little bit not personal because it's kind of everybody. It was kind of like a concern for everybody, or like something on everybody's radar was cameos. Cameos were my number one concern with the game. So when the game was announced and they announced cameo fighters and stuff, I made a video talking about my thoughts, and I said this is my number one big concern with the game.
I remember that video.
Yeah, and but the more and more we were learning about cameos, the more and more NetherRealm was talking about them, the more we saw from the Summer Game Fest, and now getting my hands on it, I was like, all that concern gone. Gone. I love cameos. I'm just like I was saying, give me cameo trailers, give me like cameo like teasers and stuff, give me like cameo exclusive combat cast.
I'm at that point too, dude. I'm just like, dude, give me who is the like all the cameos too. Like just give them all. Yeah, I feel that.
I'm just like, well, look, it's insane to think about like the utility that they give you and the variety they have within themselves. Like Kano, I feel like is more of like a setup kind of cameo character. Like he's supposed to like kind of make your strings more safe and stuff like that. Sonya is more of a combo extender. Kano is zoning as well, like making your setups and zoning. Jax, I feel like, is also a setup, but also combo extenders as well. So what's a Moloch cameo gonna look like?
Yeah,
is Moloch gonna be a tank like cameo where he comes onto the screen and he charges against your opponent to get on zoners or get on people who are like playing stupid footsies or something like that? And how is that gonna pair up with your main character who's already a zoner? And then you're not even thinking about who is your opponent choosing. What kind of cameos and matchups are they bringing to the table against you? Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, and cameos bring that craziness in. And I'm just like, dude, I am so ready to play like a Draman cameo or a Motaro cameo or something. Like, I don't care. I'm fine. Some characters I feel like, okay, you know what? I kind of wish they were not a cameo. I want them as the main characters, but I feel like for a good chunk of the Mortal Kombat overall characters or the entire Mortal Kombat roster, I feel like I'd be okay with them being cameos because they just bring in so much life.
Oh yeah, that was like a huge thing for the MK community. It's just like what's gonna happen when your favorite character is a cameo. And at this point, I'm just like, dude, if Serena, who's my favorite character, who I want in the game so bad as a playable character, if she's a cameo, I'm okay. I would totally be okay with that, seeing how the cameos are. And that was one thing that me and Cyborg talked about, is like we've only seen 3 cameos. What's going to happen when you have like a defensive cameo, when you have a cameo that's going to provide a shield, or a cameo that's going to provide some sort of some sort of defensive option,
giving you additional zoning, or plays footsies with you, puts pressure on you, like somebody who's like up in your face, rush down, like somebody who just comes onto the screen and like really puts in chip damage, like there's so much they can do with cameos. And
there is,
and they're not like assists, they're not like like you throw in a weapon here and there and it hit your opponent. It's like the actual character comes out. Like it's a character. It's a Mortal Kombat.
What's the aerial dude? Imagine doing an aerial combo. Imagine doing a pop-up aerial combo, and then you have a cameo that's an aerial combo. What's gonna happen with that, dude? It's the
like
cameo,
an aerial combat based cameo.
Exactly.
Yes. What does that look like?
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, stuff like that gets me. That gets me so stoked on stuff like that, bro. It's like I cannot wait for more and everything. There was another character, and I'll get to that when I talk about my likes. But yeah, oh my gosh, dude. The cameo system is organized chaos is what it is. It's perfected chaos, dude. It's awesome.
It's great. I want to see more. I do think that there is some sort of point though, if to not circle jerk ourselves, with having certain characters like that should not be cameos that are only cameos as of right now, or like as of like the time when they get revealed or something like that. Because I do feel like a character like Serena probably should be a main character. I feel I agree. Especially Sector Cyrex and Smoke should definitely probably still be a main character. But my worries right now, I'd rather just wait until I would rather hold off my concerns with that kind of stuff, knowing that it's confirmed that we are not just because you're a cameo doesn't mean that you can't be a main fighter.
Yeah.
You know, there are going to be some characters that are super obvious that are just going to be cameos for sure. But knowing that fact that just because you're a cameo doesn't mean you can't be DLC is kind of nice. And also just with how immersive those cameos are, you're almost already just having the character just as a main character there, because that's what they are. Cameos are as important as your main character in the game, and they have alternate skins. They have they have good detailed models. They are they bring their own unique gameplay flavor to the table. So it's almost there. You're almost there. It's not your main fighter, but you're basically almost there. And you know what?
For some
characters, for some like Scarlet. Scarlet's my favorite female character. I've already accepted the fact that she's not going to be in the game as a main character because I even thought that like way before MK1 was revealed, because I was just like, it just doesn't feel like her time anymore.
Yeah.
But like if she was a that's another thing that I like about cameos is that like because the cameo system exists, I don't even have to think about Scarlet not making it in. I'm like, oh wait, hold on, I have a second chance. Like, hold on, Scarlet can be a cameo. Like I can still play the character. And it
has nothing to do with the lore of MK1
it has nothing to do with the lore.
Yeah,
I mean, there's probably going to be some canon cameos, but like majority of them are probably going to be non-canon. Yeah, and that's fine. Like you can bring in like fucking like I don't know Wu-Lei from Armageddon and like as a cameo. And nobody's gonna care, because that's the fun in it. That's the fun.
I know. What was the one they were making fun of? Like, what's the lady Blanche? Thank you. Blanche is a cameo. It'd be funny.
Honestly, you know what? I think it's gonna happen.
Blanche is gonna be OP.
But I think that's gonna happen. I just I think that's gonna happen. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be super funny.
Yeah.
Because like it's just it's for the funsies.
Yeah. And Mortal Kombat does that. I'm about ready for Mortal Kombat to of course in the story to be serious, but take itself less seriously. I'm ready for that fun aspect of Mortal Kombat to come back, like like kind of like MK 1 through 3 is like it's a dark and grim game and there's blood and guts and gore and stuff like that, but it also had
but in the same game you had Jax having a huge boot just jump stomping on you,
exactly,
and animalities and babalities, like MK3 was like dark and gritty, like tone wise and like story wise a little bit with the aesthetics, but it still had a lot of fun with the game.
You still had Toasty. So I'm ready for that, and I'm glad, and already from the stress test that we saw, like Sonya Blade, like just Sonya Blade had the OG MK 1 through 3 feel to her, like as far as her aesthetics, her appearance, the way that she her demeanor, it wasn't MKX and MK11 Sonya. It was definitely that old school Sonya.
It was classic. By the smiles that she does,
exactly,
like the smirks, especially the fatality that she has. She doesn't have a voice, which is something that I mean, like if we were going to talk about the things that we didn't like, we can probably lead into that. I guess like the one thing that I do wish cameos had was
And I'll get into the things I do like before we get into the dislikes. I'll do my likes. But anyway,
okay. Well, then we'll start. Well, I'll hold off my thoughts on that. So
okay.
I've talked enough. You can talk about your things.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I'm glad. I want to hear everything. So my likes was one, going into it knowing full well that this is not the final product, and that was one thing you could definitely tell. It's not, and that's not like or dislike, but I knew going into it that this is not going to be polished. It's probably going to be an old build, and this is just to stress the servers. That's all it's for. And knowing that made it that much more fun, because it's like, the cameos, like I went in knowing, okay, let's test the cameos, and the first thing that I was thinking was like, okay, MK11 ladders when you got the assists, and I thought it was going to kind of be like that, like you're not going to get Bo Right Joe, you're just going to see him fart and they're going to fly across the screen. That's what I thought it was kind of going to be, or maybe he would come out and do that, but no, they were fully present on the screen. They were there. You saw them all the time. And it's not similar at all, but like if you played Street Fighter 6, you have to know Drive Rush. You have to know the drive system in order to succeed in that game. There is no way around that. That is, the whole game revolves around it. Mortal Kombat 1 revolves around your cameo. The whole thing. And you can play Kitana, but if you have a different cameo, you can mix and match your cameos, because that's what I did. Was I went Kitana, I went with Sonya and Jax, and who's the other one?
Kano.
Thank you, Kano. And I was like, that, but yeah, and me and Shinobi, we messed around mostly with Sonya and Jax with Kitana, and I was like, try to figure all the different things. And that was the fun. Labbing was fun. Labbing was so much fun, trying to figure out the different cameos and how they work with the character that you want.
There was so much discovery, there was so much like, okay, does this cameo work good with Liu Kang, or is it like, does Sonya work good with Liu Kang, or is it Kano? And then you figure out, both of them kind of do, or Jax as well. So
your win and your win condition can be very different. Let's say you're having a struggle against this one, against your opponent, and you're like, okay, I know I can do well with Liu Kang against this guy, but my cameo is not working for me with the way they're playing. So I'm going to switch over to this cameo, because this cameo is definitely going to make it different to him, and adjust to the way I win, or adjust to my win condition. So
having that thought and having that like kind of like variety mindset with only 3 cameos, and there's going to be like 16, maybe more. I think Ed Boon said that there might be up to 20 at the release. So like maybe
he said like 15 to 20, I believe, but there's 16 slots at the moment.
So there might be. I'm going to say I'm going to meet.
There might be more slots when the game comes out, though.
Yeah, so I'm going to say like meet in the middle of 18, but just 18 cameo, 18 different ways you can think about the way you were thinking about.
That is insane. That is craziness.
And that's just with your one main character. Yeah. What's it going to look like when you have like your second main character? Like it's just, God.
We're going to see a lot of that, dude. And I have a feeling I have the feeling that this is going to be the one game too where you're going to see competitive players similar to Tekken and Street Fighter. Now, Tekken and Street Fighter, don't get me wrong, a lot of those guys, they know how to play a lot of the characters, but it's like, if you watched Kawano, you knew he's going to play Colleen. If you watched Daigo, you knew he was going to play Guile, like in there. And I think we're going to see a lot of that versus MK11 and MKX. It's like they would swap out characters left and right because they knew how to play the whole roster. I think this might be the one of the games where you're going to see someone maining Kenshi and then having to swap out cameos.
And I think that's a good thing. Is that like,
I do too.
Is that like I like because Temp was talking about this. I do like his point about variations, about like or I don't know if he still believes this or not, but I do like his point when he said like, I like variations because if I don't like the way the character plays, I have 2 more times to figure out if I do. Now,
he said that,
but the downside was that a lot of things about the character, a lot of those moves and a lot of like kind of like the play style is taken away out of one variation and you have not a whole like huge set of moves, new moves on one variation, but you play differently, and you may not like that, and you may not like the other ones. and it kind of just feels like the character's not as a whole. It's just like separated into 3 different things.
Yeah.
Now we do have characters as wholes,
Mm-hmm.
and that everything about them is in the character. Like you have a full character definition with Katana, with Liu Kang, with Jax, or I'm sorry, with Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not, if you run into that same situation of like, okay, well, something's not working for me in this match, you don't have to switch the character variation or anything. You can just switch your cameos and stuff, and you still have the joy of having a character, a second main, just tag team along with you in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you have that same kind of logic that Temp had, but with cameos instead of just having your character divided into 3.
Yeah, and this time I don't have to worry about, like, for instance, in MKX, it's like I played a lot of Ravenous Melina because it was fun, but competitively, it was like Piercing Melina was the only really like valuable way to play her.
Good luck playing Ethereal.
Yeah, it's like Ethereal was fun, but it could work. It was
compared to like what was Alien's strongest variation? Just compared to Alien. Compared to Alien, you're not getting anywhere. Yeah. Doesn't matter what variation of Alien you're playing, that character.
Yeah.
Shit. So like but go ahead.
Yeah, but no, it's like Scorpion. All 3 of them worked, but it's like Katana. It was like not a lot of people played. A lot of people played Assassin and Royal, but not a lot of people played the Jade variation. So it was like, that was the only worry about variations, was that there was only one really good variation.
Yeah. But I will say, like, there's still only one real, but I think MKX did do a good job at really defining exactly what each variation was.
They did.
You knew what you were getting with that, but like in MK11, they just had no idea what the fuck they were doing. And which I have no idea why, but like, that's not really the case now with MK1. Like, you know exactly what you're getting with Sonya. You know exactly what you're getting with Kano. You know exactly what you're getting with Jax. And then the same with your main characters. And I like that. I like how every single character, including cameos, has a very well-defined, vision, archetype, whatever it is. That's good. Because I know what I'm getting. We'll get into
archetypes too, by the way. Like when I get into the likes, I'm already on the likes, and that's the thing is archetype. Yeah. So the cameo system is a fantastic idea. It's great. I cannot wait to play more of it. The visuals obviously were really, really good, and it was great that it was a great step in the right direction. It was a great combination of realism kind of meets not so realistic, to the point where it's just like they're trying too hard to be realistic, and I'm glad they're it's not just all about that. And the music was great. I really like the sound effects too. Whoever did the sound editing did a fantastic job, because I said this before in my review, is that Katana's fans actually sounded lethal. They actually, they actually sounded like they were flying. They sounded like they were waving. They sounded like they were cutting flesh. And the ice particles in Sub-Zero too was like, they sounded like you were chipping off ice, like you were hitting ice,
hitting ice, or like, there's somebody like the sound effect what Sub-Zero does with his overhead when he's like swinging you with the skull at the spine. Like it's it's like a really like hard pop. Like it's
like crack. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like MKX, like pretty much all the hits kind of sounded the same. It was like it was like the same kind of like kind of sound, but I noticed the detail of sound. Sound
MK9 had some of the best sound editing, and I'm glad that it's different, because, for instance, I think Sindel, her scream is one of the best sound effects in MK9, because it sounds like a whisper, and the point is that it's supposed to be so high pitched that it sounds like a kind of thing, rather than a banshee. So I really like that. Katana, the sound of Katana's fans in MK9 were fantastic. So to bring that back was really great. And I really liked the music, like you said. I really liked the tea house because it sounded like new meets old.
Yeah.
To me, it sounded very reminiscent of the old Mortal Kombat. You know,
well, just that setting in general is very old school, and it's very like kung fu movie, like, because fighting in a tea house is one of the most classic settings that you can put in a kung fu movie.
And I said that in my
from just old school ones.
Yeah, and I said that in my review that I actually felt like I was in a Bruce Lee movie. Because that's good. Yeah, that's how it sounded.
It's a good thing that you're like we're in settings that originally inspired more, like the very first things that inspired Mortal Kombat, but like modernizing it, and it's a good healthy balance. I'm just like, wow. And this is only with 2 stages that we know.
Right?
What's the worst stage gonna look like? You know, like, is it gonna look just like good? Like, is that gonna be like the worst stage? Is that it's just good and everything else is great or amazing, you know?
It's gonna be like the poorest rich guy. It's
it's gonna be like somebody who makes like $250,000 compared to like a millionaire. Like, if you're making $250,000 a year,
you're still doing good.
You're still doing good. You know, you're not a millionaire, you're not a billionaire, but you're still doing really good.
If you're making $250K, dude, you're doing good, man. But gosh, we've seen a lot of stages too. We've seen the Shaolin Temple. We've seen the Living Forest. We've seen Melina's Courtyard. I think that's what it's going to be, is Melina's Courtyard. But we've seen a lot of, I
think we saw there was a stage in the game where there was like a throne room where it looked like Sindel was on the throne.
It looked, it
was like a throne room stage. So like, I don't know, Sindel's throne room, because
it looks like Sindel. We don't know for sure, but we're almost certain it's Sindel. But yeah, that was the likes was, you know, the cameos, the sound editing, all the visuals, the aesthetics were fantastic. And the last thing I will say was the cameos got me hyped for more cameos. Very similarly, Kenshi, the character alone, got me hyped for more characters, because this is the first time we have a puppet character. Now, we've always had, we've always had zoners and rushdown.
Zoners, rushdown, footsie people. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we've had a couple of like mid-range footsies characters, but now we got a puppet character. What's next? Are we gonna have more grapplers? Are we gonna have more, like mid-range footsies characters? And like, how many more archetypes are gonna be in MK? And I know that I'm pretty sure. I think it was not Boone. It might have been someone else saying that we're gonna try to hit every archetype in the game.
Oh, that's exciting! I didn't see that. That's exciting.
I forgot who said it, but somebody told me that someone said that, and so I really hope that I want
to see a true grappler. I want to see a true grappler.
Yeah, exactly. Because Jax was a grappler, but was he really a grappler? He was
rushed down. He had zoning a little bit.
I want to see like in
a true grappler.
Yeah, I want to see a true grappler. I want to see we've had some true zoners, true rushdowns, which is, and like I said before, I mainly play rushdown characters. I like the aggressive pressure characters, but in the ones that were, if I get you in a corner, I want you guessing. But just because I play those kinds of characters, I want the puppet characters. I want the.
Well, you just want the roster to just look good gameplay wise, like, because like when you may have a personal preference, but like when you're looking at like how it is like overall, like when you're talking about things that are just like beyond like your personal beliefs, like, objectively speaking, you want to hit. It's like
boring
that
when everyone's a rushdown.
Yeah, it's boring when everyone's a rushdown, and you want to hit you want to do as many archetypes as you possibly can, because it just looks good, especially like on tournament stages and stuff. You got so many different people playing so many different things, and you don't know what you're getting,
And those one thing I've mentioned before about Evo last year was the Street Fighter V top 8. Like all top 8 had a different character. So, Just a Kid played Jury, Quano played Colleen, Daigo played Guile. I'm trying to think. Idom played Laura. Like, there was everybody had a different character in there, and that's one thing I really want to see in a competitive Mortal Kombat is in a top 8 we're going to see 8 different characters with 8 different cameos. And,
man, that's gonna be so hype.
Oh dude, it's gonna be crazy. For the first it's like I want to see that, you know, I want to see that Call of Duty League of Legends spectatorship in a Mortal Kombat tournament. And I believe the FGC can get there, you know, especially with
FGC has a really big chance now. They have a big opportunity on their hands.
Now we do.
10,000 people for Street Fighter 6 at Evo. Like, damn,
like that $2 million, bro.
I know, right?
That $2 million looking pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I hope it really means a lot of good stuff for the FGC in general, because we can definitely use a boost in gaming esports popularity.
We definitely can use that, and not just esports popularity, but just more people, just getting more people, more all sorts of different kinds of gamers into the game, you know. I Super stopped making Call of Duty videos and went to fighting games. I want to see more Call of Duty people leave that to go play fighting games. Nothing against Call of Duty players at all, but I want to see that, you know, people leaving.
People like the likes of Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, you know, like Asmongold, Moist Critic, all these big Ludwig, all these big, huge type of gamers that don't play fighting games. Go over and play some fighting games.
Like how is that would be hype to me. To see that. So that was my last thing, was the archetypes of Kenshi. Just having Kenshi in there makes me hype, because as more characters get, you know, brought up, we're going to see way more archetypes now. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. So cons. Your cons.
You want me to start first? Well, kind of get the small things out of the way, like things that are like I know are going to be fixed. Is one, the online I don't think was that great. I found myself getting disconnected a lot. I found myself, and when I would get disconnected, and I haven't seen too many people talk about this. I don't know if just people just had varying experiences, but I know Mustard mentioned this. PND Mustard mentioned this. And he said like the online experience was like really like annoying, because I did find myself getting disconnected way too many times than I should have. And then when I would get disconnected, I'd go back to the menu screen and it'd be a black screen for like 30 whole seconds, and then it'll be like error found. And I'm like, okay, well, I know that, because like, you know, I can't even fucking play the game. You know, so that was happening way too many times. But I know it's a stress test. It's supposed to look out for things like that, so they know exactly what it is that they're going to fix. But I will say, like, give a caveat. I'll give, you know, the other side. When I was playing online, I don't think I lagged one time. But I know that probably didn't happen with anybody, but I didn't lag one time. I just got straight up disconnected. That was the thing. So again, it's a negative about the stress test, but I know it's going to be fixed, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. The second thing also, actually, I don't know if they're going to fix this one, because I don't know if they really care about it. And I don't think I've seen anybody really talk about this, but I have seen not in terms of bigger YouTubers or bigger content creators and like the pro players and things. They haven't been talking about it, but I have seen other like casuals, like kind of like me, talk about this. Is that like the button layout on the move list was a little bit weird to look at. I didn't know what kind of buttons I was supposed to be pressing. Was I supposed to be pressing the white buttons, or was I supposed to be pressing the black buttons? Obviously, if I thought about it for like 5 more seconds, then I got it. Like, so it wasn't the biggest confusion in the world, but it is a little bit weird having the entire D-pad be displayed there instead of just how it always used to be, with just showing me the arrows I need to press, nothing else. Don't show me anything else but the arrows and buttons.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about like the inputs page where it actually shows you
the input page. The move list layout.
Okay.
It just looked weird to me. Like I was just like, what buttons am I supposed to press here? Like I don't know. So I don't know how much they really care about fixing that, but I kind of do wish that like the display the graphics or what the graphic that they showed for the move list. I wish it just showed me the buttons I was supposed to press, not the entire D-pad. I don't need to.
I agree with that one, because I didn't really think about that one too much. I didn't really have a problem with that, but looking back on it, it's like, yeah, if they would have just put like, you know, down forward 1 or down forward X, sure, I get that. You know,
don't show me this whole D-pad. Like I don't need to press those buttons. Why are you showing me those buttons? You know? So I don't know.
I know it's small and I get it, but at the same time, it's like I totally get it.
But I wanna voice the concerns of the little people on Twitter that were saying this stuff, but nobody else was. So,
right.
I got you guys. I got your back. I guess another thing that I didn't really like, and I don't know, it's not really the stress test alone, but it's kind of like with cameos, and I was mentioning this before we got into your positives, is that I do wish the cameos had voices, because as much as I am 100% on board with cameos, as much as I love the way they play and what they bring to the table, what they already offer, 100% on board with them. With the absence of voices, I feel like they feel a little bit too much like just gameplay functions. At the end of the day, I know that's what they are. I know that.
Yeah.
But they're also characters. You're going out of the way to make them, like, you know, giving them alternate skins, giving them a new model, with some of them.
You're giving them like total likeness, you know?
Like just with how immersive they already are, you're telling me you want them to be immersive. And so when you're missing that voice line element, that like life into them, I feel like it doesn't feel 100% like a character. It feels a little bit like a function. It feels like 95% character, 5% this is a gameplay gimmick function, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like my characters feeling like that, you know?
Yeah, and I don't feel like it needs to be something like too big, you know? It's just like maybe have Jax say something. You know,
I think Jax already says gotcha, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah.
But go ahead, yeah.
But yeah, it's like you know, I can agree with that one as well. You know, just having like a little line like Jax, but like all of them have that same thing, you know?
Yeah, so, like I'm not asking for intros either. I'm not asking for like anything like that.
That's like, another thing.
I understand like they're not gonna get that shit, but with cameos, but like maybe like 3 voice lines each character. I don't think that's that much. Like they come in like let's say Cabal cameo comes in and he says slice and dice. That's all I'm asking for. Just with 2 other lines with whatever other movie does. He doesn't have to do it like all the time he comes out, because that would get a little bit annoying, be a little bit too much like Capcom, but still it's for the purpose of making you really feel like you're playing like the actual Mortal Kombat character, instead of like calling them out for a gameplay gimmick, which still, again, I know that's 100% what they are, but still it's still a Mortal Kombat.
I think it also appeased those people who were like my character's not in the game, you know, my character's a cameo character. Well, if you give them that sort of life, it kind of makes them feel that much more important.
Yeah, of course. And they still already do. Like, don't get me wrong, they still feel very, very important. I still feel very immersed into like what they are. But can we just get a voice line, please? Can we just like get like 3 voice lines each cameo, please? Just give me that. So yeah. Another thing that I didn't like was I didn't like how we didn't have intros for the classic towers. That threw me off. I was like, when I logged in, the first thing that I did was play classic towers because I just wanted to learn the game. And I was like, okay, I get to hear my intros. I'm like, nope. The game starts. I'm like, what, bro? What the fuck? You know? So like, I'm like, part of like Mortal Kombat is, you know, like part of like, at least for me as a Mortal Kombat fan, the type of Mortal Kombat fan that I am is like those intros give a lot of life to the character. They get you in. They give a lot of life to the character, but not only that, they give us a lot of life to the game, Mortal Kombat, the story, the world, the aesthetics of the game, whatever it is. It just gives so much insight. You know, like the intros, like as a feature, carries a lot of importance to just the aesthetics of the game and stuff, and like the immersiveness of the game. And
are you talking about the dialogue?
Yeah, intro dialogues.
Okay.
Intro dialogues. Did I say something different? Did I say
no? You just said intro, so I wasn't sure if you were talking about like when they walk up and say something back and forth.
Not the intro, not the animation, like the intro dialogue.
Okay.
Let's clarify.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm missing that in an offline mode. Like,
yeah,
do I really want that? You know? So
do they? I wonder if that is something that. Because they do that in the loading screen.
They do that in the loading screen, but remember, in the classic towers, you select your character. It'll show you what characters you have to fight. But once you get into that fight, there is no like, because the intros only show up when you have somebody else. Like if there's another player playing against you,
right?
If you're playing against the AI, if you're playing against the AI in the tower, it won't show. It won't like the other character won't be there on the screen. You just get into the game already. So I think that maybe, I know that like if you do like one-on-one fights, like if you do like the one-on-one mode, like where you just like, all right, this is my character I'm playing, and then you play against the CPU. You're probably gonna get an intro there. But like I'm playing towers, you know, like I'm playing towers here. You know, I want to like see the intros with like all the characters that I play against.
Yeah,
against the tower. You know,
I wonder.
I'm doing like a story mode tower basically, because like when I play the tower, I play to get their arcade ending. So when I don't get like that kind of immersive character intro dialogue, battle dialogue in there, it's a little bit weird.
And I wonder if that's just because it doesn't take that long to load. You know?
Well, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's why the intros are the way they are. It is because the loading screens just don't take long. But like but the way intros used to work, though, the way the intros at least not used to work.
MKX and MK11.
Yeah, MK11, MKX onward, it wasn't part of a loading screen or anything like that. Right. It wasn't like a loading time. It was like you were already in the game and then you get the intros.
Yeah. So. See, I'm gonna have to. I don't like the banter. I'll be honest. Like I don't like the dialogue between the two. I kind of miss the MK9 when Katana just would walk up and say,
"You will learn respect."
Yeah. And that's just me, and I get it from a lore perspective as to you would want the intro dialogue and the banter, but personally, I like it a lot better when they just do their little, pre-fight moves and stuff like that, and then it just
like
goes
Street
on.
Fighter, where Jury says time to play or something like that, or they say like one thing and then they're done.
Yeah, Cameo walks up and says, the next mission awaits or something like that. Ken says, let's do this. But yeah, I do like the loading screen dialogue that they do that. And I
do like that. I don't mind that. Yeah.
I actually really like that a lot. And we'll get to it more in the bio when we start talking about the bios, because you can tell a lot by the bios and the dialogue of it kind of, they picked those dialogues perfectly. Because it didn't give anything away but set up for what we're going to learn September 19th. And we'll get to that in a bit. But that's one part I actually disagree with. I like when they walk out and just do their little fancy move and then you just start fighting. I don't like the banter.
I don't know, because like with MKX, with MKX, if it wasn't for intros, I wouldn't have been able to get that really like very stoic and very calm and humbled Kung Lao if it wasn't for the MKX intro dialogues, because I didn't get that in the story mode, but the intro dialogues with his default skin, I did. I got a really good characterization of Kung Lao in those intros.
Yeah.
And I'm going to still get those intros when I go online and I play against other opponents, or if I do one-on-one matches. Yeah. Sure, I'm going to do that. But I should probably get that throughout all the offline one-on-one modes. Having it absent is just a little bit like, I'm just like, are you going to take that away from an offline mode where I just want to play and I want to immerse myself by myself with the character that I play? Are you going to take one of the elements that makes me immersed, take away one of the elements that makes me immersed into the character and the story and the lore, whatever,
Because they can still do it without the loading screen. Like, I can imagine you going up the tower, and then it shows who you're going to play with, and then they can do something to where
it starts right there. Yeah, it starts with the clash. Okay, I would like to see that happen.
Yeah, see, I would like that.
Seem like
that
that's
would be
how
cool.
It works, but I mean, if it does, then okay. Well, then they fixed it.
Yeah.
One more dislike, and everyone's talked about this, is definitely that it's very true that the game does feel a little bit sluggish, but I will say that at least in my view, I think people are being a little bit exaggerated with that kind of notion, because people are just saying it's slower than MK11. I'm just like, okay, I don't know if it's that slow.
Yeah.
But I do think they have some sort of point there. But yeah, like, I found myself like, I'm like, why the fuck am I even trying to dash? Like, dashing is just terrible, and it's just terrible in the stress test. It's almost non-existent for characters like Sub-Zero. I guess non-existent for anybody, but I remember Sub-Zero specifically, like, you no backdash at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the movement, and it's not just like the speed, the dash distance. It's definitely the big part, a big part of it, like pretty like 60% of it. But some of the strings were a little bit slow, and I don't know if that had to do with the fact that some of the jumping was floaty. I don't mind the floaty jumping, but some of the strings were a little bit slow. I wish they were a little bit faster, because it felt weird to time when I was doing my air combos, or when I was doing like not even just air combos, but just strings that I was doing on the ground. It just felt a little bit weird. And also, I think another big contributing part of the whole MK1 is slow notion was the fact that I feel like the main way you can move was jumping, and jumping is already floaty. And so when you're just floating in the air the entire time, because dashing wasn't viable, it's not really even there to begin with. Walk speed is okay, but walking is, nobody really walks. People usually dash to get in and stuff like that. They do other things than walk. So I just felt like jumping was the most viable option, but jumping is not supposed to be the most viable option for movement in any fighting game, unless your character is based around that. But not everyone is. Like, majority of them are not. So jumping all the time, floating all the time, definitely makes you feel a little bit, it makes it feel a lot sluggish. So
yeah,
but that's the big thing, is that like the movement is slow. That's the biggest huge thing that I did not like about the game so far, at least from what we've seen. That's not really a game-changing thing that you need to. Well, I mean, it's game-changing if you fix it, but it's not like you're like changing the whole meta. It's not like you need to give this character a bunch of combos. You need to have this character have a lot more breakers. It's nothing that huge. It's a very easy fix that they can do. So I hope that they really do listen and say like, yeah, and say, you know what, yeah, we got to speed this up a little bit, because if this is a sped up game if the movement is sped up, this game is a lot of fun, because once you're doing the combos, it feels fast. It feels like you're doing so many things.
And I'll get to that on my cons, because my con is the same as yours.
The biggest problem, number one, is getting in to do the fast stuff. The way to get there is very annoying. So go ahead.
I agree. I think I'll just start with probably the biggest con I had was the walk speed and dash speed. I do not feel like the game is slow. I agree with you there, because a lot of people felt like it was really sluggish and slow, and it's slower than Mortal Kombat 11. And I just felt like the cameo, I just felt like the combos with the cameo characters were not, how do you say, I guess they weren't in ratio with your walk and dash speed. I felt like when you were actually comboing, it felt like a way faster game than it did when you were actually, playing the neutral. So that I think almost everyone has voiced that they feel like the game is a little bit slow, and they wish that it would speed up a bit. So I agree with you on that one 100%. And the other thing I felt was that, and I can easily, or I'm sure they'll probably give me the option to change the controllers or the controller settings, because I felt
didn't mention that, but yeah, I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
Yeah, I kept using my left trigger for my Cameo because intuitively that's what I thought. But no, everything, all the buttons are on your right side, and the only thing you use on the left side was your D-pad, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt that the Cameo should be on the left side, but that's something I could probably just fix with my my controller. So
that might not even negative edge was on, like input shortcut was on, and I fucking hate that setting. In fighting games, I always turn it. Everybody turns it off. Everybody turns it off. But it was on, and there was no option settings, and so like I was like literally like found myself like spamming my controller, like pressing this, but like it's not coming out. It's not fucking coming out because of the stupid input shortcut shit. So like I know they're gonna fix that. I know that's gonna be in the game because it's in every single. It's in every other game. It's in every fighting game. So like, I know that's gonna change. But like, oh my god, like that was probably one of the other probably contributing factors as to why some people thought the game felt sluggish, was because some people were just not getting their shit done. So I definitely think that was like a big contributing factor. So I'm wondering how people would view the game had the dash speed been increased and negative edge was not on, or you had the option to turn it off.
I don't think anybody would have looked at it any more positively or negatively than they did, because that's just one factor that you can just, that's something that you can just go on Twitter and just be like, hey, Tyler, hey, Ed, what's going on with this? And it's like, if you have any problem, I'm not saying like go and just spam, Tyler, because he's as the community manager, his job, he's on Twitter and on Reddit, and he's just trying to take in everything that everybody's saying. So, one of the, the things is, that everybody's been saying is that, so I have a feeling, I'm almost 100% certain they're going to be like, hey, let's fix this, walk and dash speed, because everyone has been saying this. Yeah. But I don't think it. Yeah. But for the most part, almost 99%, maybe 95% of the outlook of Mortal Kombat 1 from the stress test has been positive.
Yeah.
I have not seen one person say this game looks like crap. I have not seen that.
Oh, the game feels like crap or anything.
I have not seen that.
The only thing that's like what feels crap is the movement, but they're not saying like the whole entire game, like the whole meta of the game doesn't feel like that. So which is good, because again, like this is like a very fixable issue. You're not really asking for a lot of huge drastic changes to the game, to where like, you know what, we can't really get rid of that. Like with like breakaways, they couldn't really get rid of that, because that's kind of like the whole point of the game. That's kind of like how it's part of how the game flows and stuff. It flows like shit, but it is how the way the game flows, So they couldn't.
They tried to fix it with crushing blows, but
still didn't fix the problem.
It still didn't fix the problem. Yeah. So that's the other thing. I'm one thing I did want to say. Two pros real fast. I'm glad Combo Breakers is back. That's fantastic. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's probably one of my only cons was those two things. But I did want to say that there was one more pro I forgot to mention, was I played a lot of MMORPGs. And in particular, I played a lot of Korean MMORPGs. This game, right when I first loaded in, I was like, this is not a typical Mortal Kombat game with the main menu background and stuff. And I was like, this feels like a Korean MMORPG. This feels, I was like, it's full of color and life and brilliance. And it feels
the Oriental music in the background.
Yeah. Like I was sitting there just being like,
birds chirping.
This feels nice.
So like, here's a cool thing is that like, for me, like I played The Last of Us, and I love having, I like just having The Last of Us playing, but just on the main menu, because it's just a very relaxing setting. It's just the window.
I've done that with a few OSTs.
I just have the game open and I just have it right there.
Yeah,
I was like, I can do that with Mortal Kombat. I can do that with my favorite game, my favorite franchise ever. I can finally do that. I don't have to fucking listen to this shitty ass MK11 music or that shitty ass background. I have this really cool, beautiful sounding looking background that
exactly. And the ladders. The towers too. The towers look great. Cyborg did mention, he goes, just wait for the game to come out because I feel like the other shoe is going to drop. Like we're going to see this dark side of it too, and that's fine. That's fine, and I want that. But I'm glad there's a contrast now. This is a brand new, it's a new game and a new beginning, and the game has been about disturbing the peace. That's kind of the theme of where Liu Kang is going. So the fact that you have this peaceful, beautiful outlook and someone's going to disturb that, it's like, it makes it that much more interesting. So that was that. But so my cons, was the walk and dash speed. The controls didn't feel very intuitive, but that's just something I could probably change or just get used to.
And it's going to be there like as an option,
it will most likely be there as an option. But other than that, I don't really have a lot of negative to say.
Neither do I. I mean, I know I had a lot of negative, but a lot of them are very small. A lot of them are very small, and like some of the things that I know are not going to be huge, very detrimental to the gameplay. But like we both agree, like the two cons was like the movement. And the dash.
I think we and probably most people who played the stress test would agree with that one as well. So we talked about aesthetics, we talked about movement and mechanics in the stress test. We have both made content on bios and character design so far of what we know. And I did mention before, a few minutes ago, that they did this perfectly to where it's like, okay, we got the character bios and the loading screen dialogue to where it just gives us enough to know what's going to happen. Or not as in like it's telling the story,
what
but
kind of story,
what to look forward to.
What to look forward to, what kind of story what kind of story setting we're getting.
So this is kind of mixed, but for the most part, I would say probably 2/3 of the people that I have talked with so far like the new direction of where it's going with the new characters, their new bios. Scorpion and Sub-Zero are brothers, How do you feel about the new direction?
Honestly, I'm more open to, because this is like, they're taking a lot of like risks with this one, doing a lot of origin story changes, and a lot of these characters, some of the characters that probably aren't the same, like quote unquote character. Like Raiden is not the same. It's a completely new Raiden, completely new, different Raiden. Scorpion probably might be Kuai Liang.
He's
maybe
Kuai
we get,
bro.
He's probably Kuai Liang.
He's Kuai
Liang. If we do get Nightwolf, it might be female Nightwolf.
I'm all for that too.
Yeah,
dude,
I'm all for. I'm all for. And so you get into really shaky territory with that kind of stuff because you don't really want to go off too far with story changes and character changes to a point where it feels like the character is unrecognizable. So far, I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like, okay, this is way too ridiculous. This is way too stupid. A lot of the stuff I can see and I can understand and I can get behind. Because seeing and understanding is different than getting behind something. Understanding and get all those three things with all the characters. I can definitely see like all that kind of stuff with a story where the whole theme is about like we're telling our own thing. We're not following a specific storyline. We're not trying to adapt a certain storyline. We're just making our own thing. This is its own thing, and I like that. I think it's good because it's better when you have a character that's changed and their origin is changed. It's better to say that like, well, this is just like a whole universe. This is a whole new universe. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
rather than just saying like, oh no, the character was always like that. Like this is actually how the way it's supposed to go. Yeah, like
cough, like, cough, Sindel, cough, cough. Yeah,
I'm just like, dude, no. No, like,
no.
like don't even try to pull that off. Please don't do that. And don't try to say like, oh, well, this is a whole new game, so technically, no, shut the fuck up. No. So like, it's so I'm a lot more accepting of it now, knowing that like, knowing that they're saying like, hey guys, we're changing things. We're going to be changing things. But this is because it's a whole new thing. It's because it's a whole new universe. We're not trying to adapt anything. We'll take elements from certain things, yes, but we're not trying to adapt a storyline. We're just doing our own thing. And I'm like, you know what? Sure, make it good, but like as long as you're not telling me, oh, it's accurate to the games, or it's like super close to the previous stuff, or like, oh, it was always like this, or like this character was always like. As long as you're not saying those things, I'm okay with the changes. Because one more thing before I can get your word in is because like I didn't like a lot of the I hated the 2021 movie. I hate that movie. That movie's garbage.
It was I mean, I thought it was entertaining, but it would have been better if it wasn't a Mortal Kombat movie. That's what I said.
And but it's go ahead.
No, that was just it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I was like, okay, like people would say like, oh, it's a whole new thing. Like it's it's its own thing. It's its own movie and stuff like but like the producers of the movie, the directors of the movie, they were like going on and chanting on and on like, oh, this is super accurate. This is super close to the game.
Not even close.
Arcana's close to the game. Are you kidding me, dude? Like,
I've never heard Arcana before that. Like, no, it's not close at all.
Yeah. So like. Of course, like so like there are so if you just come out and just say we're not trying to adapt the storyline, we're not trying to like do things over again or retell a story, we're just doing our own thing, like I'm okay, I can accept that. Repeated myself, so go ahead.
No, it's that's that I 100% agree. And going into this next one, it's like I'm a huge proponent of new. If I don't want the same story retold over and over again. And I mean, you could argue it's like the hero's journey, it's all the same story with different characters and stuff, but no, with this new Mortal Kombat, when they said it's a whole new universe with Kuai Liang, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers, Kung Lao and Raiden are friends from this village, and Liu Kang is the new fire god, all these different things. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I'm like, great, brand new story. Okay. And on top of that, I think it sets a precedent for the future as well, because we've had the Tobias era where the storytelling was all done by Tobias. And then it was, I believe, Vogel.
Yeah.
Okay. Was Vogel
3D era. Yeah.
It was 3D era. And then NRS was, Vogel, I think, did MK9. And then
he had more of a heavy hand in 9. He did a lot in X. But it was a lot of Brian Chart and Dominic Cianciolo. Yeah.
What about Kittleson? Didn't he have a lot to do with?
Kittleson was 11.
Okay. So
Kittleson was 11, yeah.
And
Kittleson 11 was Cianciolo, yeah.
Right. And Cianciolo, I think he did a lot to do with Aftermath as well.
Aftermath, yeah.
Right. So it's like you have a lot of different storytellers trying to tell us this long-standing story, and it was incredibly inconsistent. Anything Tobias and on. Anything past Tobias, and although I really liked, I mean, me and you both are like, our favorite game is Deception, but it was still inconsistent. In NRS era was extremely inconsistent. Well, MK9 and beyond, MKX and MK11 was extremely inconsistent. And then the Sindel retcon, I don't care what you say, that's a retcon. But I think with MK1, this is now setting a precedent for the future, because you're not always going to have the same writer. You're going to have to get different writers, and they're going to, whether retire, go to a different company, whatever life leads you to, you're going to have different writers. And so if you set a good precedent for the future, you're going to have a consistent, well written and well ongoing story. And so that's why that's one of the biggest reasons I'm like, this is great. New universe, new characters without straying too far away from the old characters. Raiden still has his lightning powers. Kung Lao is still probably going to use his hat. However,
but Kung Lao is a lot more humble and humiliated. Not humiliated, sorry. Humble and
he has more humility.
Yeah, humility. Sorry. Yeah, fuck, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah,
I get
similar
it.
Sounding words. You know what I'm saying? Raiden is not like this big. Yeah, Raiden isn't this big stoic. Booming Captain America, Optimus Prime kind of character.
I'm so happy. I did not like that Raiden. I've never liked that Raiden. Yeah,
that's never been Raiden. But now, like him being a family man, him being a community-oriented man, just somebody who has simple life and connecting with just people. Yeah, that sounds like actual Raiden. But it's in Mortal Kombat game context, that's new. So and Kitana's still the princess of Outworld, but this time she's supporting Melina because Melina is supposed to be the next one in line to be the ruler of Outworld. So, and then Melina being the ruler of Outworld. Now that's kind of not new because that was an MKX, but she still got the and there was but she's got the whole disease and that whole dynamic.
Did you like the disease dynamic?
I'm gonna have to see exactly how that plays out because are they gonna say like being a Tarkatan yourself is a disease? Because I'm just like that's dumb. That sounds dumb. But if it's just like if it's like an infection or if it's like some sort of like flu that you get that comes specifically from the Tarkatan race, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, I don't mind it because like
her mouth did not look like a flu. I mean, no, that looks like a permanent thing, Yeah.
So
the way I look at it,
exactly how that plays out. But go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say the way I look at it is like if you catch the Tarkat disease, you're like a leper. You have to go live in a leper colony or a Tarkat colony, and so the Tarkatans are a colony of diseased, mutated people. Or Outworlders. That's the way. That's the way I kind of got at.
Now that I think about it, in the original story, in the original lore, Tarkatans were a breed of Netherrealm demons and Outworlders. So maybe this is sort of like their way of adapting that part of the Tarkatan race. And you know what? Sure, I'll take it. I know what they were trying to do. I knew. It's something that they're adapting or they're taking elements from original lore, which is I'll take it because original lore was not bad, So I'll take it. I don't mind it too much.
See, I personally like it a lot, and it creates a very very interesting dynamic between Kitana and Melina, and
just the whole thing in general is that they're both fighting side by side. Never have we ever seen that. Ever. Like ever. Well, like I think
MK9 Katana ending.
Legacy did it. Legacy showed Katana and Melina doing assassin missions, and that was the only time we ever got to see them side by side doing things together, which is what we're going to be getting in the story. Which I'm just like, that's new. That's new. So, same familiar characters, same familiar, like just like the character themselves are the same, different stories, so.
And they're not going to just not make Melina the unhinged femme fatale character. I mean, you have to keep her the same. And one thing I said was, if Liu Kang's new era and he's going to make one character specifically exactly the same as they were before, it would be his love interest, Katana. She's the same sympathetic, empathetic.
Sassy.
What?
And sassy.
I haven't seen the sass yet.
Sass is in there.
Okay. Yeah. And sassy and everything. And, sounds like my wife, but, Why she's around the corner. But yeah, that's exactly how my wife is. She's like sassy, has an attitude, but she's super empathetic. But anyway, yeah, Kitana's going to be exactly as she was before. But yeah, just the dynamic that they're working together, and Kitana loves her sister instead of despises her. And on top of that, she's that the world, or that outworld, wants Kitana to be the empress or the heir, and not Melina, because Melina is unhinged and impulsive. So and Kitana's like, no, I want what's best for my sister, and she is the rightful heir, so I want her to be there. So we're gonna keep this under wraps. And
that sounds like Kitana, you know. That just sounds sounds like a character.
Yeah. And then the dynamic between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and that's why I think it's Kuai Ling, not just because it's like they do look alike, that we saw when the unmasked, the unmasked
1
second that we saw. But on top of that, his name is Bihan. If they are brothers, that's why I think it's Kuai Ling, because it's a Chinese name. But the fact that they're now in the bio, I thought Scorpion was gonna not agree with Bihan's decisions about the Lin Kuei, and he's going to have to leave. Now, I was right about him not agreeing with the Lin Kuei's decisions, but now Sub-Zero wants to...
Looks like a 1-2 take over the Lin Kuei himself.
Scorpion is like, no, no, the Lin Kuei is supposed to be this. I think we should keep it traditional. And Sub-Zero's like, I'm so bored, I want to start a country. So that's Sub-Zero right now. That's Sub-Zero. So there's going to be a lot of really good conflict in this, and I am all for it. I am 100% all for it. The one thing though, there is one con I have about it so far. MK11 had one of the best endings I've ever seen in a video game, where Liu Kang comes out to Kung Lao and he says, you're different than the Kung Lao I've known in the past, but I'm choosing you to be my champion. You know, you have training and stuff like that. But in the bio, it says that Raiden is his champion. Now you said, no, I was going to say, now you said in your recent video that you, I think it was you that said you like this that the master. What did you say? Is that something you said?
I don't know if I said that, but like I know where my mind is on that is like, I don't know if Raiden is the chosen one, like the new chosen one. I think he might just be a Earth Realm champion, not the Earth Realm champion.
It says champion. It does not say chosen one.
Yeah, but like champion of Earth Realm. I feel like there could be multiple champions of Earth Realm. I feel like there can be, because I think the word in Mortal Kombat champion has been used to describe a team of heroes and stuff. So I think there might. I don't know if I'll go into like him being the champion, like the person who won the tournament. Because I don't think it was implied that in the bio that Raiden.
It just says champion of. I'm looking at it right now. It just says champion of Earthrealm. So champion, it's like a champion, a warrior.
Like a hero of Earthrealm. You know, something like that.
So I can see.
I don't think he is a Mortal Kombat champion. I don't think he was a winner of a Mortal Kombat tournament. Yeah, because I don't think if he was, the wording of the bio wouldn't make sense, because it's saying that like, oh, he was chosen to fight by Liu Kang. As of right now, and he's like hesitant, like, well, if he won a champion before, or if he won a tournament before, why the fuck would he hesitate? Like,
and that's the other thing. Do you think this is going to be based around a tournament, or do you think it's going to be like?
I think we will see a tournament. I don't think the tournament is going to be the main story.
Okay,
no. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Okay, so that kind of takes away from that, because I really like the fact that Kung Lao is the chosen one. When I I cried at that ending, because I was like, it was great. It was that he's
great. Awesome.
Yeah, that was such a good ending. So it was like seeing Kung Lao is going to take the place of what what Liu Kang was.
Liu Kang used to be.
Raiden is taking what Kung Lao used to be. I was looking forward to that, and you know, it's very
Go ahead.
I was going to say Kung Lao, if you read his bio, it's very Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
It's
very Luke Skywalker.
It's very Luke Skywalker. And you know what's funny is now that I read it, Raiden is very Han Solo.
Yeah.
Because one of them, Kung Lao, is like wants to be there. And that's what Luke Skywalker was. He wants to go off to the academy and fight in the rebellion with his friends. And then, you know, Han Solo is like, he's the warrior that needs to be there that doesn't want to be. And that's who Raiden is.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's true. One thing. So I really like those two new stories for those characters. So far, just it's still a direction that does make sense for the character. Like I can see Kung Lao being in this position. I can see a Raiden, given the context of who he is now, the kind of character that he is. I can see that, you know, I can see that being a Raiden story and stuff. So yeah, so far the story directions are interesting. Are interesting to say the least. Awesome to say to say the most. I'm really liking the way the story elements are right now. I will say though, I think there is a little bit. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter get a little bit ass mad over Katana's story because they're saying that Katana is reduced to a servant of Melina. Like her character is reduced to like somebody lesser.
There's nothing wrong with being a servant.
Yeah, well, they want Katana to be the head of, you know, they want the Katana to be the head of Outworld. They want her to be Katana Khan again and stuff, or they want to her own to display her own agency. Like just her agency is what they want displayed and stuff.
My answer to that would be, dude, watch the story, man. Like go through the story.
I was gonna say that. Go ahead. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that, but I was just like saying, like, well, if you look at it on paper, Katana is also a servant of Shao Kahn, but we know that's not really her character. We know that's not really what she is, you know, but on paper it is. Like, technically, yeah, but we know there's a lot more nuance to it. Number one, this is just, and number two, this is just a bio. We don't know that much about the story. We don't know how the entire story is going to play out.
Yeah, that's why
I said, we don't know if she's going to stay below. Yeah, we don't know if she's going to stay below Melina or anything like that. And number three, the way I think is what's going to happen is that I think like Katana is going to do as much as she can to support Melina, but she's going to eventually find herself, you know what? As much as I would really like this to happen, I can't. You know, my sister is just way too fucking rabid. My sister is way too impulsive. I have to take matters into my own hands, and this is just unfortunately like I have to do this. This is something that I have to do because, well, I care for my sister, but I also care for the people that I serve, or the people that are, you know, that chose me as their princess. And, you know, like that where I am at the hierarchy and stuff. You know, and that's good. That's drama. You know, that's drama.
Yeah.
That's layers. You know, like, are we gonna get mad about that?
Without conflict, there's no story.
Yeah,
there has to be. That's the whole point of it. And what one of my favorite lines in the loading screen dialogue was, "Keep Countess Jade close." By the way, Jade is a freaking countess. Dude, that's so badass.
Interesting.
That is so badass, dude. She's a countess, dude. Are you a count? And by the way, watch
countess is not. Go ahead. I know.
I was gonna say, watch my Katana video. I talk a lot about what I think is going to happen. But a countess is essentially a very rich, not, I guess you could
somebody who
say
isn't a king or a queen, but somebody who has more status than the average person. Somebody who like has a place in the council of
essentially she's a bureaucrat that owns and operates a certain amount of land within the jurisdiction of the king or queen. That's exactly what it, and they can have their own army. So that's the other thing too. What I think is gonna,
Jade is cool. Yeah,
Jade is cool.
Yeah, Jade has always been cool. But
Jade
she's
is
a lot more cool.
Yeah, but what I think personally is that Katana, similar to you, is going to have to get to a point. She is going to try her best to be a good servant and sister. By the way, if you haven't, look up to those people who are saying that, look up a servant leader. There's one thing I learned a lot when I was, in my previous profession, was that we go in a lot about servant leadership, and the best leaders are servants. So Katana being a servant is a great role to have. So but besides that, was that I think that Kitana is actually going to, similar to you, try her best, but it will get to a point where she's like, I can't go along with this. I can't do this. I think like Melina is going to do something to where she's going to be like wanting to do like genocide or something crazy, to where Katana is actually going to have to go to Countess Jade and there's going to be a mutiny.
Yeah, so, something like that.
Something like that.
It's gonna get out there to the people of Outworld that she has the disease, and it's just gonna be too much of an outcry. And like Katana's like, what is Katana gonna do? Like go against Outworld, like or like go against her people that she served? Like no, she's not gonna do that. You know, so like again, I think eventually in the story she's gonna have to take matters in her own hands, and you know what, own up to the fact that you were also born to be a ruler. Like it's you who is born to be a ruler, or to be Katana Khan. And I think a lot of people really like that story with Katana in MK11, who's her becoming Katana Khan. So whether they call her Empress Katana or Katana Khan or whatever it is, just her in that role, I think eventually she's gonna have to get there.
Yeah,
she's not like aiming for that. She's aiming for her sister. She's trying to be a supportive, like loving sister.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, eventually she finds herself.
She's gonna get to a place where it's just like, I can't do this. Like,
but again, like what I was saying, that's drama. That's cool. That's awesome. There's layers to the story. Like I'm not gonna complain about that. So I don't know those people who are complaining. I watch the story, like you said. You know, I'll take your word. So watch the story. Let's see what happens. And I'm pretty sure what I'm thinking is gonna happen. I think it's going to happen in some way. Maybe not exactly, but I think that idea is going to happen.
A key theme from the reveal trailer and to the bios and what we've seen, because I'm glad that the bios have Katana and Melina, and I'm glad the bios have Sub-Zero and Scorpion, because those are going to be two conflicting characters in the story based off of their bios and their dialogue. But the key theme, I think, of this, and this is why I think there's going to be some sort of conquest mode, is because decision making. There's going to be, I have a feeling
it seems like choice is a theme.
Choices, exactly. I think it's going to be at a place where within the story, whether you play as an RPG or you create a character and play in the story or something like that, there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to be like, I'm going to side with Melina, I'm going to side with Katana, I'm going to side with Liu Kang, or I'm going to side with Shang Tsung, I'm going to side with Sub-Zero, or I'm going to side with Scorpion. I think there's going to be some sort of element in that in the single player mode. So we'll see.
In a single player mode or like the story mode? Are you thinking
same thing?
Oh, okay, because I was under the impression that you thought that there was going to be a conquest mode and then there's going to be a story mode. Which I don't know how they're going to do that. I think we're going to get a conquest mode, but I think we're also going to get a cinematic story mode. Like I think we're going to get the
kind of like Street Fighter 6's World Tour versus like the story. Okay.
Yeah, like World Tour. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like
I think it's going to be a perfected deception.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, like I do think we're going to get some sort of conquest mode. I do think so. Ed Boon has already teased that there is no crypt, number one. Number two, there is a new mode that they're going to announce. And they did say that there's going to, the reason why the crypt is not in is because there's going to be a new way you can unlock things. And he was talking about new mode. This is in the context of new modes. So I'm thinking that
Extraction Fighter.
Yeah. No, I was thinking exactly that. No, I was thinking that in a hypothetical conquest mode, that's where you unlock your things. So I don't know. Maybe. We'll see how the story mode plays out. But I think we're gonna get some sort of conquest mode. Yeah.
So now that we talked about this, we've seen the bios. How do you think the characters look?
So far so good. Nothing too bad. I guess my least favorite is maybe Melina. I like her hair. Yeah, I just think the armor plating is a little bit too much. I think she should be a little bit more of a revealing type character. But then again, I don't think she really needs to dress that way given her story. Because her story, she doesn't need to sell her body to get where she's at. She's already set to be wherever she wants to be. And what threatens her isn't her looks, or well, it kind of is, but like what threatens her isn't like her it's more of like her impulsiveness and her decision making and just her personality and things
her
like
behavior.
that. Her behavior. So she doesn't really need to dress like that, but I just hope we get a skin. I hope we get a skin that's like traditional, like classic sexy looking Melina and stuff like that. So but the armor plating is just a little bit too much. It feels a little bit too much like MK11 and Injustice 2. Katana is gorgeous. I love the way Katana looks. Katana is great. I like Raiden. Raiden looks just very traditional, like MK.
Raiden looks great, and I have heard a lot of people say, you posted about this on Twitter, and I saw you're like, you're gonna like, are we forgetting that this Raiden actually existed?
The Injustice 2 Raiden, like some people were saying that Raiden, MK1, like Mortal Kombat 1 2023 Raiden looks like the worst Raiden ever. I'm just like, we just had Injustice 2 Raiden. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm just like, the guy's just wearing traditional Chinese clothing. Like, are we going to be mad about that in a world where
in a kung fu, like
in a kung fu inspired franchise?
Yeah.
You know, like,
no,
it looks good. It looks really
Raiden
good.
is probably my favorite of the new ones.
And he's supposed to look like a very simple man because that's what he is.
He's a farmer.
He's a farmer.
Yeah,
he's a farmer, village or family and community oriented man. And he's not like this big, huge, god of thunder. I mean, he's I don't know if he's a god because we don't know that yet. But he still controls thunder. He's still like, he still has the lightning powers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how it is. But yeah, Liu Kang looks good. I do like his MK11 Fire. I do like MK11 Fire God Liu Kang a lot more. But this one's good. I like it. I think it's good. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they have grown on me a little bit, but I do wish they had a hood. I wish they had a hood because that just looks a little bit more like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But I do like the idea that they're going for palette swaps again. Like they look like they look like palette swaps. They're almost wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
So that looks good.
I like them, but I'll tell you, I have a different reason why I like them. But I'll tell you in a second. But go ahead, finish your reason.
And Kung Lao looks good too. MK2 inspired, but also very like a little bit more grounded, a little bit more simple. So
yeah,
I mean MK2 is always simple, but like it's a modern. They managed to make a modern version of the simple looking MK2 costume while also making that new costume look simple. So like it's a good costume. It's a good costume.
Yeah, so, less is more. So
yeah, I like, and of course the cameos being all retros, great stuff.
Yeah,
they all look fantastic. So yeah, it's all good stuff. I like all the good designs. Melina probably my least favorite. It probably goes like Melina least favorite, like Scorpion, Sub-Zero. And then everybody else gets a really good pass. So yeah.
I would I think I actually like the simplicity of the Johnny Cage outfit.
I didn't mention Johnny Cage.
A lot of people have not liked it because it looks like he's just in like workout gear and everything, and
which is
a compression shirt and some boxing shorts. And same thing his what is it? His shirt and slacks in his in the trailer.
In the story mode. I like that one because that was very Lyndon Ashby inspired, and I was I'm not gonna complain about Lyndon Ashby, Johnny Cage inspired stuff. No, that's the movie.
I agree with you. Like if you look at like what celebrities wear and everything, I mean, he's supposed to look like a 21st century action.
It looks like that looks like something Tom Cruise would wear.
Exactly.
Like Johnny Cage is literally Tom Cruise. So
yeah. So I mean, I like his outfits so far. I actually liked Melina's outfit. I thought it still, it still had a little bit of cleavage to it. So it still it resembled Melina, not just the colors. It definitely did that. The hair, I thought it was very strange to have the shaved side for a princess or an heiress. The fact that she's an heiress, kind of, you would think that she would have a little bit more elegance. Now we've seen about maybe 5 seconds or 5 to 10 seconds of her like actual gameplay, and I've noticed that her mechanics, or I'm sorry, the animations seemed a little bit more elegant than they were before. She was definitely more of a brutal, dirty kind of fighter in the past, and this time around she seems a little bit more elegant. And nothing tops Katana's elegance. I'm sorry, but Katana will always, she will always be the prim and proper pretty kicks girl. But yeah, I actually liked Melina's design, and I thought it was pretty spot on. Besides the hair, but
I don't hate it, by the way. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I just, you know, I've seen better, but I think it's I think it's good. I think it's good.
I personally,
good enough. I'll pass. It doesn't look unrecognizable. So there we go.
I'll give it a solid B+. But yeah, for me, is like I really liked Melina's outfit. The only thing I would say was like the hair. I just don't think she should, for an heiress to have the shaved side was a little.
I think actually that even makes it even like, for me, I'm just like, that makes it even more like it portrays that whole story where people are thinking that she's too senile, she's too, you know, impulsive and stuff. I can believe that when I look at her with that hair, you know, with that hair. So I'm like, you know what, that makes sense. I don't mind the hair, honestly. I think it's
I mean, that makes sense when you think about it and stuff.
I think there is a case to be made, though, that I do like how MK11 really went out of their way to make Melina and Katana look very similar, like twins. Like they look very,
I did like
similar.
that, even though I hated the designs. But still,
I didn't like Katana's design either. Melina's was okay.
I hated her hair. Like, the Katana, she had the scream.
Hair or
no, Melina's hair.
Oh, the Dora hair, yeah.
Oh my god, dude, she looked like the movie, the girl from the movie Scream. I'll send you a picture.
Scream?
I think it's Scream 2, I believe. I'll send you a picture. But it was pretty bad. Anyway, I like Johnny Cage. I did all of them, by the way. All of them so far to me get an A. Get a pass. I
wouldn't give everybody an A, but I give them all a passing grade. Like, all of them, like, you know what? Like, I don't look at you and think, so far, I haven't seen a character design where I'm just like, dude, that looks like straight trash. Like, because there's a lot of them in MK11.
Yeah. And so Raiden, I think, is the best he's ever looked. Kung Lao looks great. I know people might disagree with the Raiden comment, but this is the best he's ever looked to me.
I wouldn't say he's the best he's ever looked, because I think Deadly Alliance Raiden is fucking top tier Raiden. But it's definitely a really good costume. I really like this look for Raiden. Yeah. And
take note, I'm probably going to have a bias because of new things. When there's something new, I'm a big proponent of new, but that's just because I kind of have I'm pretty high on the copium right now. But Liu Kang, I also think this is the best he's ever looked. I'm glad they kept the tattoos. I like the hair. But his shirt.
Liu Kang really hasn't had a bad. Well, Revenant Liu, never mind. But for the most part, Liu Kang has had such a lot of really good costumes. I honestly don't have a favorite. As a Liu Kang fan, as number one Liu Kang guy, I don't have a favorite, because there's so much that I like. And this is one of them. This is one that I do.
I think it looks great.
I do like MK11 more, but this is also really good. Like I Liu Kang.
And Kenshi's, both of his outfits, I did like his Yakuza suit, and
looks good.
Dude, Kenshi looks so good. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, I didn't really think about it as palette swaps. I looked at it more as like uniform. You know, they look very uniform.
But they were definitely like going for that palette swap.
Oh no, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But to me, they looked like, okay, they're both Lin Kuei, this is your uniform, you know?
Yeah, which is good. I mean, I like it. Yeah. I like that, you know? It's just like the way the costume, with the costume itself, I'm not super on board with it, but it has grown on me. They're not my favorite Scorpion and Sub-Zero looks. But put a hood on them fixes a lot. Fixes a lot. Does a lot.
I can get behind that. I think that putting a hood on him would be great, especially for a quote assassin clan. You know.
Yeah.
Or now they're just warrior clan. It doesn't. I didn't see assassin in there. I just saw warrior clan. Or does it say assassin? Does it?
I'm pretty sure they're assassins.
It says warrior.
I mean, you can probably mix it.
Yeah, because
they're probably still assassins.
Because a Lin Kuei is technically a secret society. In this, it looks to be like the secret society that's protected Earthrealm for years and centuries, but never has had to, and that's why they're getting so bored. And the fact that Scorpion, of course, has a spear, but he has a Korigama.
Yeah,
which is cool. The freaking sickest thing I've ever seen, dude.
When
I saw that, I was like, no freaking way. Oh my gosh,
like,
dude.
Still to this day, they're thinking of new ways to reinvent Scorpion's moveset.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like, damn, I never even thought about a Kasurigama. Like, what the fuck?
I said Kurigama, Kasurigama, my bad. Yeah.
Kasurigama,
yeah. But yeah, they had a Kasurigama. That's freaking sick. And then what was at first, when I first saw Kitana, that was the least favorite. Now it is my favorate. Not just because I have a Kitana bias, and I'm not going to main her this time around. I actually, I was a Kitana main in MKX and MK11 and MK9 too. I played MK9, MKX, and MK11. I mained Kitana. This is the first time I'm actually not going to, because I actually didn't like the way she played in the stress test.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I like the way she played, but she didn't fit my style.
She wasn't my style either, but Kitana was never my style in any Mortal Kombat game. So I mean, I can't really give you any honest thoughts on it, but I don't know. I would want to see how the character feels when I don't have an AI constantly interrupting the shit that I want to do. Because like I went to the classic towers to practice, but I had the fucking stupid ass AI like you know hitting me and shit and interrupting me. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, when you can actually go into the lab and
and then like see what cameos work for your character and stuff. So I wouldn't give up hope on Kitana just yet. What if there's a Melina cameo and they worked super well together, and now you want to play Kitana because the Melina variant, So we'll see. Don't give up hope on your main.
Oh no. Well, if there is a quote rumored character in the game, probably going to play those characters. So I'm more than happy to push Kitana aside for a game, or at least like a little bit, if the said quoted rumored characters is in the game. That I won't touch on leaks, but
I know which one you're talking about. I hope she's in, because I would love to play that character.
And there's actually a couple. There's a few that if they're in the game, those are the characters I'm going to play for sure. But at first, because I wasn't a fan of like the high-waisted pants and the midriff shirt, but like when the more and more I looked at, like, you know, when I played her, because she's pretty much who I primarily played in the stress test, the more and more I played her and the more I looked at the costume, I was like, no, this is actually a sick ass costume. Whoever designed this did a really good job. So maybe tied with Kenshi. Kenshi's costume is freaking sick. So Raiden's, dude, they're all good.
Kenshi's costume. I think Kenshi's is probably the best. It's probably my favorite one.
I always like the trench coat.
Mostly everyone is pretty good. I mean, everyone gets a passing grade for me, but there are some more that I like more than others. But like overall, pretty good stuff so far. Pretty good stuff. I haven't seen anything that's really been like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I wish I would have played a little bit more Kenshi, because Kenshi just looks freaking dope, dude. Like his brutality ending animation is like the most anime thing Mortal Kombat's ever done. I was like, dude,
Well, it's his character archetype comes from anime fighters too, so you know.
That's very true.
So
one more pro I wanted to add to was color. One theme in the gameplay I've noticed was the use of color, because not just the use of color, the fact that the game is a lot more colorful, but also you noticed when the finish him or her part, or when you do a brutality, it goes contrasted with blacks and grays and whites, and then when I said this in my review, is that it felt like a Frank Miller film. Like Sin City, or you know, like that, where they used the red to really pop, you know. it looks so true. Good, dude. It looked way too good.
Yeah, the color in this game is just everything is super vibrant. There's a good mixture of colors too. You know, it's a good mix of them, and in the stages and the costumes and everything so far. I want to see more. I want to see more stages.
Oh, dude, I want to see more characters, more stages. Yeah, dude.
What the color looks like in the story mode cinematics. You know, like I just want to see that stuff. Like the Wuxi Academy stage. There's greens, there's pinks, there's grays, there's blacks, there's oranges. Like, damn, there's so much good. There's so much goddamn color, dude. You know?
It's like they took a look at MKX and we're just like, okay, let's just do everything the opposite of this.
Well, MK11 did improve on the color, but MK11 did improve on the color, but I think I've heard Razor make this point, was that like it was always just one color. It was always just one big vibrant color. This is a huge mix. Like we finally actually have like color diversity in the game, in the environment, in the settings, everything.
This is very true. Great. It's very true. All right, bro. All right. So coming to conclude this podcast, I have I said I asked you. I said I was going to give you this question before. So make or break. What is the one thing that is going to make this game for you that you're never going to want to put the controller down? And what is the one thing that might break you to where you'd be like, I don't want to play this anymore, and put the controller down?
This is tough because
especially after the stress test.
Especially after the stress test, the gameplay, I sort of already know I'm going to be okay with it, especially because I do think we're probably going to get a speed boost increase. And so
I agree. I think we are too.
Once you get that down, that's going. I already have fun playing the game,
right?
Even with the movement being slow. When the movement is fast, which is the thing that I didn't like, when that's fixed, I'm gonna have a good time. I guess my break will be that.
Are you doing break first?
Yeah, I'm doing break first.
Okay.
Bad. Yeah, my bad. Is that they will reduce the amount of crazy stuff that you can do by making you do a lot of like meter. Like, what if you can't do the enhanced dragon flying kick 3 times in the same combo? What if it's only 2? What if you have to meter burn to do? What if you have to meter burn the Liu Kang's dragon kick? Because what happens, I think you probably know this, but just so people have some context. The fire dragon comes out, then you do the flying kick. You don't have to meter burn it. That's just what happens. What if they start doing where like the fire dragon comes out and you meter burn to do the flying kick? So like, what if they start reducing these combos a little bit because they think it's too crazy? They think there's too many things going on. What if they just start doing crazy, stupid changes like that? Like, whoa, don't do that. Right now, do not touch what we can do with combos right now. What we're able to do. Like, obviously, there's an infinite that Kitana has obviously changed that. Yeah. But when I'm talking about like the cool combo,
those are obvious things. Yeah, like things, infinites and stuff like that. Yeah.
Or like damage scaling being way too like, okay, like
if I touch you, I give you if I touch you 50%. Yeah,
that kind of stuff. Like the stuff that you see with Liu Kang in the corner combos, all those clips that you've been saying, do not touch that. Please do not touch that. I hope they do not. And I'm worried that they're just gonna do some real stupid change because, like, well, things are getting too crazy. Want to give people a chance, and we found that like some people were finding it too hard to do or something like that. I'm like, dude, please just don't do that. Please do not do it. So if they even dare to even dabble in that kind of stuff, unless it's for some real good reason, because like there's obviously there's some imbalance in the gameplay. If they even dabble, like that's gonna just because like once you go down that road, you're probably you're just gonna
start digging yourself into a hole. I 100% would agree with you. It's like when things are so much, and devs have done this before in fighting games to where it's like things are so good and so much fun right now. We're just gonna we're just gonna stop doing that. We're just gonna take that away from you and everything. We think it's a little bit too much, and you're just like,
there's too much going on or something like that.
No, I 100% agree with you on that one. I see that.
So I hope they don't do. I
balance it. Fix balance damage, balance the damage, balance the infinite, leave the ultimate combos. And to not to answer that, but I don't think that's necessarily something that might happen. The reason why is because Sonic Fox has so much influence on gameplay mechanics that the devs at NRS are if Sonic says something like I love the combos are back, I'm so stoked that combos are back, the devs at NRS are gonna like listen to him saying that they're gonna be like
Max too. Max has huge leverage Max is also saying the same thing with the combos are back, but go ahead, finish your
point. Max, Sonic, who else, Ketchup and Mustard, those people have so much influence in the community that NRS will hear what they have to say and they'll just be like, okay, we're not going to touch combos. So
it's just,
but it is a worry. I get it. It is a worry.
I could totally, because like there's the thing that you can do with Sub-Zero where you can do the ground. It's like that new version of the ice puddle, like where you freeze them in it's not a true freeze. You can do that like
it's like a quarter second of a freeze.
I think you can. I think I saw like Honeybee do a combo and he did that like 4 or 5 times, maybe 3 to 4, something like that. It was ridiculous. Like, please let us be able to do it because it looked good. It's not like the damage was like super over the top dumb. It was still like reasonably damaged with at the end of the day with what he actually ended up doing with the combo. But like I can totally see NetherRealm being like, okay, we're not gonna do that because it looks too ridiculous. I'm like, no, that's fun. I want to see that shit. Fuck you. Don't change that shit. So if they even dabble into that, you're gonna dig yourself into a deeper hole with that, and it's just gonna you had a great thing and you ruined it.
Yeah.
So anyways,
I will say that I think what they did with the clones is perfect. Because the clones are the clones are back, which is great, but also they only last like half a second.
But for some reason the feeling, the essence of the MKX clone pressure is still there.
It's still there. But it also it's like it's not going to stay there for 5 seconds. It's going to be there for only just a second, which is fine. So and the fact that you can shield special through it. So it's like that. Perfect. Great, leave it there. Don't touch that. I totally get that. So okay, so what's your make?
What's gonna make this game for me is that this is gonna sound like the most casual dumb 3D era fan out there, but what's gonna make this game 100% is the amount of how much 3D era representation that's going to be in this game, because we got basically all the classic characters that missed out, the classic trilogy characters that it was because MK11 was mainly like the trilogy cast in there and less 3D era characters. But I was sort of okay with it. I was mainly okay with it because all those classic characters that we got were characters that missed out from MKX. And I was asking for those exact almost every single one of those characters in MKX. So I was okay with it because I was getting what I was asking for in the last game.
Right.
This time, I don't know if I can go another game with just mainly trilogy. I need an equal balance of 3D era characters with trilogy characters. There's still plenty of trilogy characters that I really want to see. Ermac, Reptile, Sector Cyrax, Smoke. I want to see those characters so bad. And I really want to see Ashra. I really want to see Serena. I want to see Havoc. I want to see like I'll throw out a dark horse out there. I want to see like Moloch as a cameo character.
Yeah. You mentioned that before.
So I want to see an equal balance because I feel like you're headed in the right direction by I think Edwin is kind of like actually no Edwin has just straight up confirmed it. He hasn't like alluded to anything. Like you're heading in the right direction with Edwin saying that they're going to have every single era represented in this game's roster. Whether I think maybe he's probably including cameo roster in there as well. But man, that is I did a video a long time ago before MK11 came out. And I said, this is the type of roster that you need to make a really, really good roster. And I was talking about it in the context of MK11, but I'm still talking about that still applies now. And what I said was basically the same thing: was have a roster, that gives us an equal balance, or give us equal representation of every single Mortal Kombat era. Because this, I said at the time of when I first said that during the MK11 days, was because I said Mortal Kombat 11 is close to the 30th anniversary of the franchise, so it should feel like a celebration of Mortal Kombat. Well, now we've passed we've passed the celebration, or the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat. This game kind of is the 30th anniversary.
They're kind of making it out to be right now.
Yeah. And that's what it looks like. And what's going to make it is if they really just do it, and they actually make this like the celebration of Mortal Kombat game. And one of the perfect ways you can do that is on the roster. And so it's gonna make a huge difference. It's gonna be a huge just make for me. Like, I just cannot stop playing the game. Like, I'm going to get that feeling when I'm playing a lot of the characters that I grew up playing. 3D era, Deception, Deadly Alliance, Armageddon. So if I'm seeing a lot of Deception era characters in there, if I'm seeing some Armageddon, like I consider like Serena of like an Armageddon like representation. So I'll take that one.
Yeah,
I mean it's technically mythologies and the back then, but I would consider Armageddon. But if I'm playing characters from Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, I'm just playing my childhood. I'm playing what made Mortal Kombat for me.
Right.
In the modern age today. Why would I ever let go of that when I have what got me into the franchise right here?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right on.
That's my make or break. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, mine's pretty simple. My break is netcode crossplay.
That's gonna be huge.
Yeah. Netcode, I think at this point, like is just like they already said that they're gonna have
GGPO.
Yeah, they already said that, so I already know that for sure. And so far, the connection, I agree with you. I didn't have any like drops, but when I was in, there was no lag, so that was perfectly fine. But I don't see any reason why they would not have crossplay, and not just between Xbox and PlayStation, but between PC as well.
PC and Switch. Yeah, which is going to be weird to be on the Switch.
I highly doubt anybody's going to be playing on the Switch. I mean, but
trust me, I've seen some people say like, "Hey, I got my comments are like, hey, I got the Switch." Like, okay, all right, cool.
But
have fun blowing up your own house.
I know, but I play on PC, and a lot of people in MK11 played on PC as well. And a lot of the pros, actually, and a lot of content creators were going onto PC. In fact, I think around 2019
it feels a lot better on PC.
It does. And around 2019, 2020, there was like this huge I wouldn't even call it a controversy or a debate, but a lot of competitive fighting game players were all saying, why are we not playing on PC competitively? Like, and of course it's because it's way too expensive, but they were saying like, why isn't at a majors that why are they not using PCs? Like, they should be using PC for competitive. And the PS5,
the frame rate is better, the input delay is almost non-existent.
Everything is better.
Everything is better.
Everything is better. So anyway, so for me, crossplay is like a huge deal. Now I don't have anything one particular. I don't have anything that's going to make it to be like, I'm never going to play this game. There's not one thing out there that is going to make me not play this game, but a big thing that's probably going to make me be like, I don't want to play right now because none of my friends are playing, or I can't find a match because or anything like that, because I play on PC and other people are playing on PlayStation. That's a big deal. So for me to be able to play with everybody, play with my friends and stuff like that, and the Discord, the gameplay Discord on the Nethercast is we're always just like finding things. And there's also my locals too. We have a Sac County, Placer County Mortal Kombat Discord. And there now I think we got like upwards of 20 to 30 people on there. So imagine all of us being like, oh, I can't play with you because I'm on a PlayStation 5 and you're on a PC.
Those days are kind of over now.
I know.
Like, really, like kind of over. They're kind of, because like all of these big, huge, popular games, they're all crossplay across all platforms.
Right.
Warzone, like these, big mainstream like Warzone.
Yeah.
Fortnite, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter now.
Mortal Kombat's a AAA title, and it's gonna sell 20 million copies. So
it's gonna sell way more than MK11. Like it's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, yeah. So why this major game wouldn't have crossplay would be beyond me. I would just be like, I think what the hell?
I assume you might be a little bit worried because they haven't really said any details about
it. They put it on the website and took it off almost immediately. And on top of that, Mortal Kombat 11, which was the best-selling Mortal Kombat game of all time, only had crossplay between consoles. It didn't, or between Xbox and PlayStation.
The game finished when the crossplay was in beta. They didn't even finish.
Yeah, exactly. Why is a AAA title that sold 12 million copies not crossplay is beyond me. So I think that is a must.
My theory is that the reason why they took that off is because they are going to have crossplay and I think they had crossplay and cross progression also taken down, right? It was like it was one of the same.
Yes.
My theory is that I do think that we're not going to get that at launch because the Switch and the PC are made by two different developers. And I feel like it's going to take a little bit more time for them to connect the servers, for them to cooperate and connect the servers to make sure that crossplay works across all platforms.
See, I would love
developers of PC and Switch.
Okay. See, I would love to talk to somebody at NRS and tell me why that would be a problem.
Not that it would be a problem, but they need more time to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like, how would that look? Like, why is it? And if comment below, if you know the answer, tell me. I would love to know why.
Yeah, if any engineer bros know, like,
why does two different developers? Why does two different developers have a trouble with why would they have that trouble? You know what I mean? So
I don't know that answer because that's just outside.
I don't know either. So,
but that's just my assumption is that we're not going to.
You're not the only person who said that either.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get crossplay at launch between PC and Switch or cross progression, but we will eventually because it's going to take a little bit more time due to the fact they're they're working with two separate developers. The three like NetherRealm in-house, whoever makes the PC ports. And whoever makes it. So three different developers all like having to do shit to connect their own servers with the way they develop their games and stuff. I can see that taking a little bit more time. Yeah. I hope they go through it because you're 100% right. It needs crossplay through all platforms. It needs it. There's no way it doesn't. Because I think Cyborg was talking about it like in one of his videos. Was that he fucking hated having to unlock so much shit. This isn't cross play, but this is cross progression, which they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. But like,
I had to buy two different copies of the game. With MK11, I had to buy it for PlayStation and PC. I didn't like that.
Yeah. And it's the cross progression thing. Like, I just, bro, like, let me unlock all my shit. Like, I don't. Why do I have to start all over again? Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, honestly. All these big, huge modern mainstream games just don't do that. Like that's just not a thing anymore. Almost not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. And the make very similar to you was roster. I have a couple of things that I would really make the game for me. Having a well-funded competitive scene to where I think that Mortal Kombat needs a $2 million prize pool. I think it needs that because now I understand why, because Street Fighter 6 and Tekken both are games that the world can play. the world can't play Mortal Kombat. The West can play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a harder thing, and I completely understand that. I get that, but I
think we would need isn't there one of the methods of funding FGC like tournaments and stuff is by like in-game skins? Because like can't we get like more of that kind of stuff? I
wouldn't know that.
Yeah, because I know maybe like the Capcom stuff, like the Capcom skins, like the ads in Street Fighter 5. I think didn't those go? I don't know. I you guys can
a lot of people just said that the Resident Evil money funded it. I mean that's but I mean Capcom is a big company, so they can have that. WB is a bigger company.
Yeah, bigger.
So they can I would like to see competitive Mortal Kombat, and if you got people like Sonic Fox who are like saying like this is probably the best Mortal Kombat game, like he's like what did he say? He goes, in Skullgirls is his favorite game. Mortal Kombat 9 is a very close second, but this could possibly top Skullgirls as my favorite fighting game of all time. When you got someone like that saying that, and you also got people like Jay Wong who did a thing with Maximilian dude after the reveal, and they were all saying how good the game was. When you got that, and I'm calling it
like Street Fighter bros doing Street Fighter guys like
you got
saying
Street Fighter guys saying that Mortal Kombat looks good,
and like just keeping it in house with Mortal Kombat with the Mortal Kombat community. I've seen a lot of MK11 huge naysayers, like the ones who were saying like Mortal Kombat 11 was like worse than slavery kind of people, like even those people. I've seen a lot of those people say they really like what they saw with MK1. They really like what MK1 had to offer. So from what they played.
So I would like to see a competitive scene where we are getting bigger prize pools, and I've said bigger prize pools for a long time, but I would just like to see Mortal Kombat take that step in that kind of direction. But similar to you, my biggest make is going to be like, dude, if Serena is in this game, I will play this game nonstop until the next Mortal Kombat comes out. Just saying that is my favorite character in Mortal. I know she's a small character, but with so much possibilities and potential.
So much potential.
And characters like Smoke, Havoc, Natara, Li Mei, Ashra, having those characters that I loved playing in the 3D era and making them playable in one of the most beautiful, well-crafted fighting games of all time.
Why would you ever want to put the controller down for this game,
dude? It would be the chef's kiss, dude. To have for me to play Natara in a game that looks this good is just give me that, bro. Just So that is a big deal. But any final thoughts before we sign off, bro?
I just hope that honestly, I talked very positively about MK. I think about this all the time in the back of my head. Yeah, I talked lot very, very positively about MK 11 when it was first out or when it was coming out. And then as the game was starting to come out, it just went. I don't hate the game, honestly. Like I have a very nuanced take. I made a video about it a while ago. But I just hope that doesn't happen with MK1. I hope with what I'm thinking. I hope that what I'm thinking about this might be the greatest, maybe not the greatest Mortal Kombat game of all time, but like up there with MK9.
I hope it's the great, like a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's one of those pillars of it's up there with Trilogy, it's up there with Deception, MK9, and for some people acquired taste MKX because of the gameplay and stuff. But like that I just hope that feeling that I have that I think this might be it. I think we might actually. I hope that feeling is actually true once, like 2 years from now, maybe 3 years, if they actually end up keeping their word of it being the longest supported Mortal Kombat game, which I also hope happens.
Yeah,
I hope when 3 years come 3 years from now, I'm just like, God damn, I don't want to. This was a good Mortal Kombat. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and I'm still playing the game. I'm saying that while I'm playing the game. I just hope what I'm thinking and how I'm saying and my attitude toward the game. I hope it pays off.
Yeah. I like positive Brusk, and when Brusk is being positive, you know that for sure. Yeah. I had a very similar thing when MK11 first came. I was like, this is a beautiful looking game, so, you know, and it took me a long while before I was just like, you know what, this is not a good game. It took me a while, and it took me longer than most people because I really wanted to like it. And I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't call it necessarily a bad game, but it just wasn't a good one, you know?
Yeah.
So
it wasn't the game that I was really hoping
for.
Exactly.
But again, thank you so much, Bress. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk more as the game progresses. Like and subscribe to my channel, like and subscribe to Brusk's channel, check out his Discord. We'd love to see you guys there. And yeah, thanks for tuning in if you made it this far. And until next time, shred out.